What's up, everybody? Tam Zupela, Jan on the run. Back at it again. I've been off for a couple of weeks and I'm so concerned, but does anyone actually even watch the show? Because you guys have said nothing in my DMs. Oh, P, when's Andoni? What's happening? I've been a bit sick. I'm sure you guys can hear from my voice, but iDyan is coming back up, and no better way to come back up than to, before I start running, start back on the show. Coming at you, episode 14. I've got fresh legs. I've got fresh legs on, and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you guys to my very special guest. He's going to introduce himself, but I've got a special guest. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Dr. Vagazi.
Yeah.
How I like to introduce myself is to say first, my name is Dr. Vilakazi. Because when I say I'm Dr. Vilakazi, people assume that I'm a medical doctor.
Sure, and they ask you, what's your name?
Yeah. So the elephant in the room, I'm not a medical doctor. Let's just get that out of the way.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And then doctor, maybe just a big background.
Yeah.
I'm from Metakane.
Okay.
Kasilamakasi, last town. And yeah. But currently I'm based in Renbeck.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm closer to work. So I literally, few meters away from work.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so that's where I'm based right now.
Okay, 100%.
Yes.
I also wanted to, when I first got introduced to you, right? I got your number, I got Dr. Vilakazi, and I was just like, hey, hi, doc, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm sure that's a very great conversation starter.
Yeah.
So when you don't struggle to start conversations, based on your name.
Definitely.
That's really, really cool. Thank you so much for making the time to be on the show with us.
No, I appreciate the platform and you having me and having this conversation.
Sure. Perfect, 100%. You were introduced to me by and you guys will also know Luando. Luando was the first guy that we had on iDyan on the Run. He was the first Jan that I had on here, and he introduced me to you. You came in highly recommended. They spoke very highly of you.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to maintain that standard, whether or not you like it, right?
But men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Aha! There we go, right?
Yeah.
So, very excited to have you here. I want to start off by asking you are here. The show is iDyan on the Run.
Yes, sir.
You are a runner, right? And in you being a runner, we know that there's many categories of runners, right? Let me tell you about me.
Okay.
Me, I am a social runner.
Okay.
Right?
Full stop.
Okay. Right?
Okay.
It's recent that they said to me, no, you are actually a top runner.
Oh, okay.
I said, what is a top runner? They said a top runner is a person who runs half marathon under 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
That is,
I didn't know that.
that is
Okay. That's interesting.
21 kilometers in under 2 hours. They said to me, that is a top runner.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then I've learned to go to, there's obviously also elite runners. We know the elite runners, they are the ones that stand on podiums and get paid, right? So I know of those three categories, right? Do you fit in any one of those three categories?
I think I identify to one of the ones that you mentioned.
Okay. Which one is that?
Which is the one you started with. I mean, you started as a social runner, right?
Sure.
So for me, it's just a combination of both of them. So social elite.
A social elite? It's my first time hearing about a social elite. You're a social elite.
Yeah, that's the category I give myself because most of the time, maybe as the video is running, most of the guys will see that I'm mostly flying solo.
Okay.
Yeah, so on a regular race, you'll find, someone being surrounded by a lot of people, So those are social runners. And then social elite, you are almost like owning the road,
Okay.
Yeah, so you are literally running alone on the road. Yeah, but yeah, so that's the category.
Okay.
You are not slow and you are not fast.
Okay.
So you are just in between because you know how elites do, right?
Yeah.
They just open up the gap, they leave
100%.
everyone else behind. And then there's drops of people that come after that. If you know
100%.
races, that's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those people who will come around.
You are there.
Yeah.
And we are there 2 kilometers behind you, but we are running the same race. Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's take some time and take it right back to the beginning.
Okay.
Right? First question. Do you know how many years you've been running?
Yes, sir.
How many?
I've been running for 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a lifetime.
Yeah.
8 years running.
Yes.
Let's go back then to the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's go back to kind of year 1 or 6 months leading up to year 1.
Yeah.
Right? Which is you are now, it's now 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. How does the running start? Number 1. Number 2, why?
Sure. Yeah. You're taking me back.
Sure.
So how it started.
Yeah.
Firstly, I used to travel, like I told you, I'm from Tsakane.
Yeah.
So I used to travel from Tsakane to Midrand every day. Every day. I'm sure you know carpooling, right?
Yes.
You have people that you travel with, you go to work. So that doesn't give you much of flexibility on your time because there's always people that you're carrying, you know?
100%. 4:30 is 4:30. 8 o'clock is after, is 8 o'clock. Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. So for me, then that started now to impact in terms of my lifestyle. So I'm driving, after driving, I get home tired, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, have to pick up people, go to work. So that whole running around, you know, like took a toll in my system.
That routine of being tied up like that.
Yes. And then I started to gain weight and I was like, you know, I'm not liking the person that I am now.
Okay.
So started with one evening, coming back from work. And I was like, okay, this thing of coming back from work, eating and sleeping is ending today.
Yeah. Or she was Khatfall. One of the two.
No, I was Khatfall. Because Tsakane is actually home. So I was staying home with my parents. So I went out. I did just a run around the block. So it gave me about 1.5 kilometers.
Okay.
You know what I did after that run? I posted on my status and I said, Rome was not built in one day.
There we go. Okay.
Guess what happened? People commented on the status. They were like, dude, 1.5 kilometers, you can do better. I mean, try something, try something to impress us. You know?
Okay.
But for me, I knew there's nothing that starts from nothing, you know?
Okay.
So you have to start somewhere. So for me, that was me saying, you know, this is the lifestyle that I want to commit myself in. So no matter how small I start, this is the beginning for me. So I can tell you from that day running 1.5 Ks, I've been maintaining that. I maintain that every day, traveling with people, coming back to work, you know, so I've been maintaining that 1.5. I didn't have to start with 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers. Yeah. So it was just that step for me that got me started.
100%. And that step as a promise to yourself to say, you need to start somewhere, number one.
Yes.
And then you also, but now out of all of that, right? Yes. Your big goal at the time, lose weight.
Yeah.
Ne?
Yeah.
But there's many things for losing weight, right?
Yeah.
There's gym, there's whatever, there's many things that you could do.
Yeah.
Why running? Why was running the first thing that came to you to say, this is something that I want to do?
I think it was a no-brainer.
Okay.
Because remember I mentioned to you that I was traveling with people. So when you travel with people, if it's chai time, everyone closes their laptop, they want to go home.
Sure.
So they won't hear you saying, no. I still have to start at Chimini. People have their own commitments.
Sure.
So I had to prioritize that.
Okay.
To say, okay, I can't do gym. So what can I do with the little time that I have?
Yeah.
Okay, when I get home, it's still 6 and my place is quite, the area that I stay around is quite lit.
Yeah.
There's, Apollo. So I can just use that block. I don't go too far. I just go around the block.
Yeah.
And it gave me 1.5. So,
100%.
So for me, that's that's where I can say the love of running started. Because
100%. Simple, easy to do. You don't have to think about many things. You put on shoes.
Yeah.
At that time, what are you running? What do you have on your feet for that 1.5?
Hey. I can tell you, man, at that time, I think I was running with my All-Stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was running with my All-Stars. They were pretty old, so I didn't mind because, I still had other shoes. So my All-Stars were just doing the trick,
Okay.
So that's what I was using at the time.
Okay.
No fancy running shoes or anything.
All-Star, J.
Yeah, just an All-Star. And my normal clothes,
Sure.
So that's how I started.
100%. Okay. Yeah. I like that. It's a really a back to basics kind of story, right? It starts from the basics.
Yeah.
So from running in an all-star to a social elite. It happens. It happens. Rome was not built in a day. Fantastic. Now you run your 1.5, right?
Yeah.
How often are you running then after that first 1.5?
Every day.
Every single day.
Every single day, Monday to Friday. Every time I come back from work, I do my 1.5, take a shower, eat, sleep.
Polile.
Yeah.
Do you see any changes kind of in a short period of time? No changes.
No changes.
100%.
It's just my cardio getting better because, the first run, you run out of breath.
Yeah.
You have to take a bit of a walk.
Yeah.
And then you continue running again. And then over time, then I started to run longer than I walk.
Okay.
So that's what I noticed.
Yeah.
And then I think I'd say 3 weeks, then I started now to do the whole 1.5.
Running.
Without stopping or anything.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's what the minor changes that I would see.
Correct.
But in terms of body, losing weight or anything, I was still the same weight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you feel better as well?
I feel better.
Okay.
I sleep better.
Aha.
I perform much better at work.
Okay.
I'm not tired. Yeah.
With a little 1.5.
Exactly.
Aha, love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
That continues.
Yeah.
When does it grow? After how long does that then grow?
Okay, so the nice thing that happened now was there was a change now, an adjustment. So I had to move now from home because I saw that this whole waking up in the morning, going to work, it's like I'm going to work to come back home,
Sure.
So I decided to make a decision to know what, let me just move closer to work.
Okay.
And then maybe that can work better for me in terms of my sleeping patterns, my peace of mind.
Routine overall,
yes.
sure.
So I had to unfortunately ditch the people that I was traveling with.
And you were the driver, right?
Yeah, I was the driver, unfortunately. Sure. But it was just not me. It was another friend of mine, Sizwe, as well.
Yeah.
We were actually changing roles.
Sure.
He will drive 1 week and I'll drive the other week.
Okay, yeah.
So when I moved, funny enough, I moved with him.
Oh, okay. Now we're not selling too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we had to move and stay closer to work. And then, we stayed together. So everything now changes. So now I have time.
Correct. Because now you're not driving. How long were you driving to work and back?
We drove like an hour every day.
Hour
Every day.
That's a lifetime.
Hour 30 minutes.
That's a half marathon for me. 2 hours. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. So now you move closer.
Yeah.
Now it's no longer an hour.
Yeah.
Now you've got more time.
Yeah.
100%. Then the running changes.
Now the running changes.
Okay.
Now I've got a bit of time. Now I can go to gym.
Okay.
So going to gym, being a runner, your friend is what? A treadmill.
Strength training.
A treadmill.
Okay. I hate a treadmill. Like, I wish I could die when I have to run on a treadmill. Fair. Got you.
So I got on a treadmill.
Yeah.
This friend of mine I'm talking about, this is where we gave ourselves a challenge. We say, let's see who will get to run 5Ks in 25 minutes.
Guys, as brand new runners.
No, remember me. I'm already used to my 1.5K. So I've got a bit of a cardio.
Okay, yeah.
So we just didn't want to start on a zero thing because I think having a target or something that you're working towards, it sort of gives you a goal or something to work with.
Absolutely.
So I think that was the thinking behind us to say, let's not just go to gym and do whatever. give ourselves a target.
Correct.
So
I like that.
Told ourselves, whoever reaches 25 minutes for 5K deserves something.
Okay, sharp.
Yeah.
But now, I got training plan. I got nothing. It's just yeah.
It's just us shooting each other.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we started. And I remember there was another friend as well. That guy Kumo.
Yeah.
So I think he was much fitter than the two of us.
Okay.
So he was actually the first one to actually hit.
Okay.
Because that guy was strong.
Yeah.
So he would hit the treadmill, like he was built like, those big guys. But when he hits that treadmill, he would move. So he was the first to actually hit that.
Okay.
Myself and Sizu were still struggling,
What are you running?
We were running 30 minutes at the time,
30,
which is not bad.
Okay, not at all. Not at all.
It was not bad. So that's how then it increased from that 1.5 to 5K.
Okay.
So I think it took me 2 months.
Okay.
To actually finally hit that 25 minutes in
100%. And again, this is every day.
Every
5 days a week.
Every day, 5 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, excluding weekends, because weekends I would go home, visit. My weekends, they would know. Like
weekends out. You are resting a weekend, which is fair, which is absolutely fair. How things have changed, eh?
Yeah. No.
How things have changed quickly.
No resting.
100%.
Yeah.
Now now it's mainly treadmill. You're not really doing much on the road.
Yeah.
You are obviously now you're not doing any races. You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay. You hit your 25 minute for a 5K.
Yeah.
Now you need a next goal.
Yeah.
That's where it changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So going to weekends, right? Remember now I'm pumped up.
Yeah.
I ran 5Ks in 25 minutes. So now telling my brothers, guys, there's this thing that I found out,
Yeah.
This running thing, it's really interesting.
Sure.
I'm running 25 minutes, 5Ks, So is there a way we can do this, like just to see how it works, you know? So luckily my brothers at the time were big on park runs. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, so they were big on park runs. They were like, okay, let's go to a park run.
Let's take it outside.
Yeah, let's go to the park run and then see how things go.
Sure.
Got an older brother too, and then my younger brother Bonagele. So those guys are also like big into running.
Okay.
So that I can say they kind of introduced me to the outdoors of running.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like I mentioned, we started to do park runs together and then we would compete, me being the mere fact that I was leaner than them. So literally I was smoking them, showing them dust.
Okay, sure. From day one.
Yeah, from day one. Yeah, from day one. So
when I'm health, when I'm competition.
Yeah, if you put it like that. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's where the outdoor running now started by park runs.
Okay.
Doing park runs. They would bring their family along and then we'll do a park run. So that's how it grew.
Nice.
5Ks, park runs.
It's a thing that you enjoy. It's a bonding activity that you're doing. You're getting to spend time with your brothers because now you don't live together, right?
Yeah.
And everyone is enjoying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Come. I want you to get to bring the pain part because I know it changes somewhere.
So we were like, no, guys, this is 5Ks, man. We need now to like do something interesting. I mean, 5Ks, we've been doing park runs. Let's try to pump it up now.
Okay.
And then
whose suggestion is that?
My older brother.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, no, there's this vitality series thing that happens, There's 10Ks, there's 21Ks. We can start with a 10K.
Sure.
Simple. Yeah. So at that time, I don't know anything about comrades. I don't know anything about anything. so
you know about a park run, the treadmill.
Yes. That's the two things that I know. So now there's races, vitality series.
Yeah.
We entered literally all of them.
Sure. There's about 5 of them, ne?
Yeah, 5 of them.
Medals, wooden medals.
No, that time it was proper medals. Proper medals, my man. Proper medals. It was not these wood things that you're doing now.
Yeah.
So we registered all of them just to get that commitment. Because I always say to people, like, for you to be committed to something, you must first sign up.
Yes.
Then once you sign up, then you know that you've now committed yourself.
100%.
There's no way now that you can, you spent your money,
yes,
paying for this. So you have to pitch up for that.
Absolutely.
So that's what we did. We registered for all of them.
Yeah.
And then we waited for those days to come.
10Ks.
10Ks.
Okay.
Yeah, strictly 10Ks.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I smoked them from the onset. But my older brother, though, when it came to, because like I said, we started with the 10Ks, right? Mm-hmm. And then we grew to the 21Ks.
Yeah.
So he was showing me smoke, my older brother, on the 21K.
Okay.
So he was
5'10", you own him.
Yeah.
21, game changes.
Yeah, 21, yeah. He was much stronger than me. So
okay.
For a couple of years, I think about 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I know about frustrated. Now tell me a bit about the change from 5 to 10.
Yes.
How big of a shock was it for you when you did your first 10 after only doing 5s for a very long time?
I would say at the time, like, I was not much drawn to the target.
Okay.
Especially when I did the races.
Yeah.
Because you remember on races, it's like you are surrounded by people.
Yeah.
You are just running. You don't have any sense of
vibe.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. So I cannot even literally tell you what my first 10K time
100%.
was.
But how did it feel in terms of difference between 5 and 10?
It felt a bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt a bit longer, but I could still sustain. If you know the Vitality series, you know that. Yeah, it seems like they decided to take the most hilly routes. Because most of those routes are hilly. Okay. So I would push on the downs and then on the hills I would run maybe mid halfway and then do some jogging, and then, but what I would normally do is like make sure that when it's a down or a flat, I just continue running.
There we go.
So I only rest on the hills. Yeah. But the adjustment in terms of feeling, like I say, I was not chasing anything.
Sure.
So when my lungs are saying stop, I stop.
You stop. Yeah, you listen.
I'm not trying to fight anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you still then in effect enjoying. Kusemnandi ubaleka. It's still a social thing. Me and my brothers gumnandi.
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Now things are moving. Now we're going to 21Ks now. If maybe I can talk about years.
Okay.
I started 2017.
Yeah.
And so this year that I'm talking about is 2018, where we are doing the Vitality series.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so that was 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did the whole series. I remember Randburg Harriers, at the time it was called iDyan Hash.
Okay.
So I think that was my first 21K.
Okay.
Yeah, if I remember well, I ran just over 1 hour 52 minutes. Yeah.
But
sure.
Yeah,
just over
pushing.
1 hour 52.
Yeah.
So I can say that those are the years where I was, growing into this running thing. And subsequently, that's when I joined the club that I'm with now currently.
Okay.
Yeah, which is Multi-Choice Athletics Club.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen a lot of multi-choice stuff that I didn't even know that they had an athletics club.
Is it?
Yeah, not at all.
No, the thing is we are big. If you've done a lot of races, you'll see that like we feature a lot in terms of support and
I'm zoned in when I'm in a race. I don't look around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. That's all. That's it. Okay. No, excellent. That's okay. I didn't know. That's something new for me.
Yeah.
I thought you were maybe an influencer there for multi-choice because I see you. That's the stuff that you kind of wear and you're always there with those guys.
Yeah. Actually, it's a running club. It's called Multi-Choice Athletics Club.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a corporate club. It's not open to
okay. Got you.
Employees.
Yeah.
However, I think the running community will know about us because like most big races, you'll see us. We're supporting not just our members, which is support the overall community.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you joined Multi-Choice. This is what, 2018?
2018, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you joined that club now.
Yes.
Now you're getting what? Now you're getting a bit of structure. Okay.
Yes.
Because you've decided, Uguti, I like this thing. This is something that I want to still do.
Yeah.
Have you then at that point been exposed to other things marathons? Have you been exposed to your likes of your Two Oceans, ultras? Have you been exposed to the likes of comrades? Are you thinking about any of that kind of stuff?
I can tell you that joining the club, I think that's where the exposure came from.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you join a club, they add you in a group, right? You know this.
Sure. Yeah. First things first. Yeah.
They add you in a group, and if you are new in a group, then there's the OGs of the group. They post stuff, intimidating, stats.
Yes,
talk about big races, big kilometers, So I kind of stayed on my lane, I was just watching just to see what's happening there, but I was not engaging that much.
Okay.
But the nice thing is that we had a coach.
Okay.
As part of the club, joining the club. So Tapel was the coach at the time.
Yep.
So I can say most of my experience in terms of endurance or starting now to run bigger races,
okay,
I got it from him.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, I think, for anyone out there, it's very important when you start now to transition from just doing smaller kilometers and going to bigger kilometers.
Yeah.
It's always recommended to make sure that you get like a coach, someone that can just take you through the journey.
100%. Yeah. And this is, as you say, as you start to then mature as a runner.
Yeah.
Not to say that if you are running shorter distances, you are not mature. Because we all have our thing that we want, right? Yeah. Some of us just want to be active. Some of us just want to be on the road. Some of us want to then start seeing the longer races and running the longer races. 100%.
Yeah.
Now you are there. Now they see you. But yeah, une potential. Yeah. Hey, my man.
Yeah.
What's the longest you've run? You say 21. He says, really? Why don't you try a marathon? They've got the same speech to tell everybody. But down the potential, you can kill a 42.
My guy, it's like Ngati, you know this. I remember the first race that I did.
Yeah.
21. Now I remember, my memory comes back. It was MTN, MTN race. So after completing that race, I was always like averaging 152 on my half marathons.
Okay,
stucky. Stucky there. I was not moving.
Yeah.
And then after that race, the coach looked at me and was like, my guy, I'm impressed. I'm like, I ran a good time.
Yeah.
And he's like, my man, you are too slow for this sport. You look too lean to run this slow, That time,
you've leaned out
that
now.
time I've leaned out,
Yeah.
And he's looking at me and he's like, this guy's got a lot of potential.
He's like...
and he's happy about running 152, So that's when the mindset and the change now started to happen to say, okay, so when people look at me, when you do something... you don't see how people look at you from the outside. Right?
Yes.
So when now you start to get those, kind of comments from people to say you actually look like you can run faster. For me, that was a motivation.
Okay. Okay.
To say, you know what? Okay, so that means I actually look like someone who's athletically capable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now it introduces that idea to you, but maybe there's something there.
Yes.
Okay.
Something that I didn't see at the time, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And then started to work together. Speaking about the Vitality series, so I once asked him to pace me for a 140, sub 140.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember at that time there was Umpo as well, Umpo Mercado.
Yeah.
Runs for Waterfall.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was once chairperson before, one of the founding members of Waterfall.
Okay.
So he was part of that bus of the sub 140. So I remember, that race was tough.
Okay.
It was tough. When you start now to not running for vibes, I can say that race was the first time that I was actually running, chasing time.
Okay.
Yeah, because
it was tough.
Yeah, no, it was tough.
Yeah.
Because you literally, when you are being paced.
Yeah.
And the pacer usually is in front, right?
Sure.
Because you need to stay with the pace.
Correct. Keep up with them.
Yeah. So if you slow down, they are not slowing down. They are telling you to come to where I am.
Sure. Yeah. What's
come here. Yeah. I'm not staying with you. You must come where I am. So that's where you need to dig deep now and get out of your comfort zone. Start to feel other things that you never felt before, So yeah, I can say that race, I think, if I remember well, we just missed it by a few seconds because we ran 140 and a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, and a couple of seconds.
But you're happy when
I was super happy. Trust me, I was super happy because that's all I wanted to see.
Yeah,
140.
Correct.
140, and that's when I looked at my clock there. It was saying 140. So I was a happy man.
Okay.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
But that now being your first experience on a bus.
Yeah.
It wasn't a horrible experience. It was a tough experience.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking to yourself, okay, now at the end of it, you ran the 140. Now are you thinking, are you starting to think now, I need to get better at this thing. I need to get quicker. Or are you like, 140 is good. We can stay here for a bit.
No ways. No ways. I mean, I think everyone who's tasted speed, they know how addictive it can get, because once you run at those paces, I can't explain that feeling. You have to run at those paces to actually.
I'll never know. Sure.
What are your times? No, current. I'm sure you look like you're
156.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
156 and a half.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But a comfortable 156. I wasn't dying. I was comfortable, and I was like, this is really, really cool.
Okay.
Because I felt fit. I didn't struggle through it. Yeah. And I was like, this is nice. But for me, and the reason why I'm asking you the question about the 140 is, for me, I then said, it's okay, Zooks, you can stay here. I don't know if I want to be any faster. But anyways, that's just me.
Yeah. But
so for you,
like, because you as well, you are a top runner, right? You mentioned it. You're a top runner. So how compared from where you started to how you're running now, I'm sure there's a difference in terms of how it feels now amazing. When you run.
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
You start to feel more and more like a machine.
Yeah.
You start to feel more and more as if you are controlling your body and your body is not controlling you.
100%.
You start to feel, hey man, this is me.
Yes.
Which I guess is part of what adds to that addiction.
Trust me, the faster you get, that feeling gets amplified times two.
Oh, that's why you're obsessed. I promise you, that's why guys that run really fast are really, really obsessed. And we are sitting on the sideline saying, Haibo Lomchita, maka relax, Haibo, 120 something, 124 on a 21. Why?
Yeah.
But it's because it amplifies the feeling.
Yes.
And that's tough. And it's hard to fight that feeling.
Yeah, trust me, it's not just about the feeling, it's the overall feel. Like even outside of running. Yeah. Outside of running, your relationships, your work ethic, anything that you do, you are just on that mindset. Like you are on the move. You know, you don't have that sluggish mentality whereby you still need to process things. It's like if you think about something now, you do
Let's kill it.
You know?
Yeah.
So it comes with that speed. You know, it almost like cuts across everything that you do.
Yeah.
So I think for me that was the main thing that made me to say, you know what, this running thing, I don't think I'm gonna let it go.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it go. Never.
Oh, I like that. It's always been defined as, it's the discipline, consistency, I can identify a little bit with the addictive speed thing.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that's kind of my eyes have been open to that. So I like that so much. It's a challenge, man.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. Do you have an end point in terms of this is how fast I want to get? And if I can get this fast, then that's it.
I always tell people this when they ask me.
Yeah.
But where does it end for you?
Sure, you'll be running for a long time. We know that. But in terms of how fast you want to get, is there any?
Yeah. They asked that question exactly. Where do you want to go? Like, what's your ultimate goal in terms of getting faster and faster? And you know what my answer is?
I'm scared. I'm scared,
my
guys.
answer is, I won't stop until I get to the top. Yeah, until I get to the top, like that number one spot, then that means this thing will be perpetual. I'll keep on running and running and running and running and running.
And getting faster and faster.
Yeah.
And chasing quicker and quicker and quicker times.
Yeah, because
Doctor?
I mean, I have the ability, I have the capability.
Sure.
There's information out there.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing results every time I go for a run. Every time, anything that I do, I'm seeing results.
Year on year, month on month, 6 months on 6 months. You're getting better.
Exactly. So for me, the ceiling is not reached yet. We keep moving, we keep working.
I'm stressed.
That's the line that I like using. You know, keep working. When someone comes with a PB and say, Coach, I'm a coach, by the way.
There we go. Okay. Ingena too deep. Okay. When someone, we'll get into that just now. When someone comes and they say, Coach.
Yeah, it's time, Coach, I hit a PB, you know. I ran my fastest time. You know, I congratulate them and say, well done.
Yeah.
And then I say, let's keep working. So, meaning that's not the end.
Yeah.
Yes, you've worked hard.
Yeah.
You've hit your PB.
Well done.
But well done. But it doesn't end there. You understand? It doesn't end there.
Yeah.
We still have to keep working, you know?
Yeah.
Keep working. So that's the motto and mentality that I always push.
Because there's no end. So I can't say it's silly of us who think that there's an end.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I'm starting to feel a little bit misinformed. Like maybe there's something that I haven't gotten that is still going to get me, and I'm going to, you know, because that's what I think. I don't foresee an end to my running, right? But I see an end to my. I don't wanna. I think when I ran this 21, I enjoyed it. And I was like, I want to enjoy. It was the zoo, G Fox.
Yes,
G Fox.
Fox.
Yes. Yeah, G Fox. Yeah. I ran, and then it was the other one, the second one. I ran 2 Vitality series. I just forget what the second one is. But it was the one after Harriers. Old Eds.
Okay.
The Old Eds too. So I ran a 157 at G Fox, then I ran a 158 at G Fox, and then I ran a 156 at Old Eds.
Oh, you're getting faster. Okay. I'm not
maybe the bug has bitten me, but I haven't realized it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't realized it yet.
Yeah.
Now, let's touch a little bit before we go into then the marathons. And I think I saw you wearing a comrade's medal.
Yeah.
Oh, in deep. Oh, yeah.
Vagazi inside.
Are you deep?
Vagazi inside.
You mentioned something about coaching.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
When does coaching enter the chat?
Coaching started, I can say, 2023.
Okay.
I can say 2022 because how it started is that, you know, after COVID, a lot of people, remember I was now part of MultiChoice.
Part of MultiChoice now, come COVID,
yes,
right?
Yes.
You are part of MultiChoice, you're running the 21s, you're running marathons, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yes.
Okay, you've also entered the Cartier Marathon.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm already inside. I'm into it. Yeah, so then there's this thing of, I think there was a fatigue from many people who were hit by COVID.
Yeah.
They were finding it difficult to sort of like break that, you know, stagnant. Being staying at home, not moving around. So that's the kind of sense that I felt within the group because people were not, you know, interacting much, not doing much races. So me being closer now to work, I had a lot of time to myself.
Okay.
So I posted a message in the group. I said, guys, I've decided to say to do this thing now where I'm just gonna give myself to anyone that needs any kind of assistance in terms of their running. I'll pace them any pace. If it means you want to walk with me, I'll walk with you.
Okay.
If you want me to pace you at 4 minutes per K, I'll pace you. If you want me to pace you at 6 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever pace, I'm just here for you. And these are my times, available times. And
We socially eating, oh. Because now you're talking about 4 minutes per K now. So now you're strong. Throughout COVID, are you training once they opened?
Yes.
You kept working?
I kept working.
Okay.
Throughout COVID, I was lucky enough to have, the traveling document.
Yeah.
So during that, I would train work basement.
Okay. What?
Yeah, I would run under the basement at work. I think it has about I think you going down all the way, I think it gives you like about 600, 700.
Yeah.
So I'll go up and down, up and down. So that's how I managed to stay fit.
What?
Yeah, during COVID. Yeah. Yeah. So there was no downtime for me during COVID.
So you just kept it?
Yeah, I pushed through.
And you obviously during this period you're getting better.
Yeah. So when everyone was locked down, they couldn't do anything.
Feet
I
went.
mean, I'm working.
We're coughing, you're working.
Yeah, I was working, and like those basement runs, I can say I can attest that they built a lot of my endurance, my strength. Because I mean, imagine running in the same place. Like over again.
Yeah.
So that builds you mentally.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, now coming now to telling everyone that, guys, I can pace you whatever pace you want.
Sure.
So they came through. Well, it started slow. People were still, hesitant. But there was one person coming there, 2 people coming there, 3 people coming there. And then now it started to grow because I think that's how people respond.
Yeah.
When they see someone or something. Yeah.
Sabo Thomas.
Yeah.
Hey.
We stand there in the corner.
Yes.
We want to see where is this thing going to end.
And someone is always watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the numbers grew like, bit by bit. And then now we started to get like now big numbers.
Okay.
People now are starting to buy into this idea of me pacing them, giving my time to them, and then seeing that. So now they sort of like said, what you are doing is basically coaching,
Kushabon.
You are basically coaching us now. So
and for you initially it's just love.
Yeah, for me,
guys, let's just get involved. Let's just keep it going.
Honestly, I was just passionate. I wanted to give back, because I think I had recently came back from my first comrades.
Okay.
Yeah. So after my rest, so I had after running. Have you run comrades before?
I tried.
Oh, you tried
60 kilometers. This one, 2025, 60 kilometers. Yeah.
What was your first one?
That was my first one.
Okay.
60 kilometers.
And then what happened? 60K.
I've got a problem with my feet. We'll talk about it offline.
Okay,
I don't want to bore these guys. These guys have seen it, but I'll tell you about. I'll tell you about it, coach.
Okay.
It was my first. Was my first attempt.
Okay.
But obviously now I have to.
One.
Next
Good
year
attempt.
I have to.
Yeah, attempted. Good one. Yeah. So I was coming from that. If you come back from comrades training, there's this period of boredomness.
Yes.
There's no races.
Yeah.
There's just emptiness.
And you're supposed to rest.
Yeah.
Because you've just gone through the most.
Yeah. So I've done my rest. I've done everything. And now I've got all this time.
Okay.
Because we know comrades is selfish in terms of time.
Yes.
When you train for comrades, you're always busy.
Yeah.
So when comrades ends, you have this time to yourself. You don't know what to do. So that's when I decided to say, you know what? Let me use this time to help someone else.
Okay.
And then that led them in seeing a coach in me. And then I was voted as the next multi-choice coach. Yeah,
Okay.
which I'm currently holding now. I think this is my 3rd term now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the best part about that?
Sure, my guy. Taking someone from being like a walker to seeing them cross comrades finish line.
Yeah. You don't even have to. I don't even have to imagine that.
My guy.
That is just.
My guy.
It's like you got kids, man.
Yeah.
Grown kids.
Yeah, man. I can't explain that feeling because you've seen this person from where they come from. You've literally taught them everything. Nutrition, you've taught them resting, you've taught them when they have injuries, you tell them what to do. you know, you're literally giving them all the steps that they need to cross that finish line at comrades.
Yeah.
Someone who was not a runner, zero running.
You're coaching to comrades level.
Yeah. So for me, that's when I saw that this thing is bigger than me, actually.
Absolutely. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's absolute power.
Yeah.
And the worst part?
Sure. The worst part, I think it's time.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have time to yourself.
Oh, yes.
Because you have all these people that are dependent on you.
Sure.
They need advice. They've got a race that is coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
They are nervous.
Yeah.
They want advice. You know, coach, what's the strategy? Coach, what can we do? Coach, do you think I can do this? You know? So you sort of like have to give your time, you know, outside of your family, outside of your, you know.
Anything else? Outside of anything personal for you?
Yes. I can tell you, I've lost a lot of relationships.
Oh, doctor! Stop running! I can imagine. I mean, a person can also only understand up until a certain point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Yeah, because you lose friendships, you lose a lot of people. Because remember, this thing is a passion. I can say it's a calling, you know?
Yeah.
You are called to help people. I said to one friend of mine who I used to coach at the time that I had an epiphany. Correct me the right way.
Yeah, sure.
So to say my purpose in this world, which comes back to your question, why do I run? Is to help people run and realize that running can actually change your life.
And it does. And it has. And it continues to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for that purpose, you are prepared to be single forever.
Who said anything about single?
But that's what I'm saying, because if you say well, you know what? At the end of the day, the person, the right person, if they haven't come along yet, will come along.
Yeah.
And it will work.
Yeah.
Maybe the running has saved you. Maybe that's also highly possible because your focus is on something that's greater than you. I think that's so important just for life in general.
Yes.
To get to a point whereby we realize that there is something greater than me, and that thing is worth living for. And what that does is that it gives back to you 10, 50, 100-fold. And if we lean into that, it's the best thing that we can do for ourselves.
Trust me, man, you said it better. I wouldn't have said it better than how you said it now. My thing now is for everyone that is obviously in my life, because when I'm talking relationships, I'm talking friendships.
Yeah, sure. Across the board.
Yes,
family members.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everyone has they have to jump into this world.
Mistake is to be friends or to be related to you, sure.
Yeah, they just have to jump in, because if they want to find me, or they have to get my time, get to enjoy me, they literally have to, unfortunately, find me where my purpose is, you know, because there's a whole lot of people that are dependent now on me for their goals, for their health. Because, you know, we don't just run for PBs or for targets or for sub twos. Yeah. We also run for longevity as well.
Sure.
To make sure that, we live, you know, to see our kids grow, you know.
Comfortably.
Yes.
It's easy to live. I always say that it's easy to live too. Well, not easy, right? You definitely need to involve God there. But now you're 70, right? But there's a difference between is 70-year-old a fresh, a 70-year-old that is in pain.
100%.
That from the day that you stopped working, it's pain, it's ailments, it's this. So it's also very much a quality of life.
True.
Which I came to realize at a point as well, to say, hey, Mchana, you do this thing now, so that by the time you are here, at least you are working from a positive and not from a negative, right? It's like they'll say muscle strength training, that your muscles, they start deteriorating at a certain age. If you keep working on them, it means what? It means they're going to last longer.
Exactly.
That's what you want.
My man, you've said it better. Longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, I always just liken it to savings.
Yeah.
They call it compounding interest.
Sure.
Yeah. So the more you save, the longer the years go, the more your money grows. It's 100%. Like the curve goes like this.
Here we go.
You know. So also with the quality of life, the more you exercise, the more you keep fit, the more you run, you are actually putting like money. It's like depositing bank into your future life.
Absolutely.
And not just any life, but quality of life. You know.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
So that's basically my purpose, to make people realize that this running thing that we do, well, now there's a lot of people, you know, doing it for all sorts of reasons. But at the center of it, it's all about longevity.
Here we go.
About, you know, I mean, our parents, we know they didn't have a choice. I mean, they were faced with the system that was against them. Tina, we know better.
Yeah.
So I think we can make better decisions. We have information in front of us. Science has proved so many times.
Yeah.
The stats are there. If you exercise, you stand to live a better quality of life.
Absolutely.
And there's no shortcuts, unfortunately.
There's no shortcuts.
Yeah,
and this is coming from a coach. The one guy that he's supposed to be giving me a cheat code or tips and tricks is telling me that there's no shortcuts. And I think there's beauty in the fact that there's no shortcuts.
Yeah.
I think we in there being no shortcuts, we tend to appreciate what it is that we get out of this thing more.
Yeah.
It means more. It's like money that you've worked for and money that you've picked up off the street. You can pick up $100 today. By the time you get home, you won't even know where that $100 is. But once it's earned, it's a totally different story. And I really, really appreciate that. Man, 1 hour is too short. 1 hour is too short.
Yeah.
I want us to quickly jump into. So this is how I'm gonna do the next couple of minutes, right?
Okay.
We won't have time for our game.
Okay.
What I will do now is I'm gonna ask you I asked you to bring me something that is very meaningful for you on this journey. Yeah. We're gonna chat about that for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And then before we end off, I'm gonna ask you fast facts. Or numbers to see this whether you are social or you are social elite for real.
Okay.
And then we're gonna draw it to a close.
Okay.
What did you bring for me that has meant something to you or means something to you on this journey?
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I brought to you.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's visible. People can
It should be visible. Yeah, you can put it. Yeah, you'll probably look at it through there.
All right. So this is what I brought. A box.
Okay.
Shoe box.
Yeah.
So what I have here, believe it or not, it's got holes. Believe it or not, this is my first pair of shoes.
Both sides. Both sides.
This is my first pair of shoes
Yeah.
that I bought when I started my running journey.
For running.
Yes.
Okay.
This was back in 2017.
Okay.
When I started my journey.
These shoes are new, Mos. Yeah, Mos.
Hey, trust me, they must not deceive you. These things are finished. You can't run with this thing. This is what gives you injuries if you try to run with this thing.
Shin splints going all the way west.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is so sentimental to me in such a way that
you've kept it.
I've kept it. I've made sure that I keep it because it's so close to me. Because this is the first ever pair that I took a first step with on the road. Well, excluding my All-Stars.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Okay. So after your All-Stars, you jump straight into these.
I jumped straight into this. This is when I said to myself, I'm now taking this running journey seriously.
Yeah.
And then this is what I got. And
it's clean, yes. Yeah, so they're not, they really mean something. So, but that is that it's not a dusty pair that you pulled out of your garage.
Yeah.
It probably stays in that box somewhere.
Yes.
Because they mean what they mean to you.
Yeah, I hold them close to me, and trust me, wherever I go, I'm taking these shoes with because this is where my journey actually started. And I'm proud to be where I am. Because I started here.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly. There's always that first step, and these gave me that chance
100%.
to do that first step on the road.
That's really special.
Yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea in terms of maybe how many kilometers would possibly be on these shoes?
Sure. I'll be lying.
Yeah.
Because at the time, we didn't have a sense of how many kilometers.
You were just running.
Yeah, I was just running.
Yeah.
Just running until you mentioned picking up a shin splint.
Yeah.
And then that's when you go to expect, they tell you that your shoes are worn out. And you're like,
What do you mean?
These shoes are still okay, you know?
I walk in my first pair of running shoes. Like till today, if I'm just going to walk in the park,
they're
still fine, right? Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
So this is what I put to you.
Love to see it. Thank you so much, man. Fluid right. Hey, doctor. Right. Before we get to the end, right?
Yeah.
And you've given us so many nuggets, and so many things, and you also mentioned to me that your part of your purpose is getting as many people to run, right?
Yeah.
You also mentioned to me, and I'll take details and I'll also put them in the description, if that's okay with you.
Yes, please.
That you are running in that Randburg area.
Yes.
I said I live in that Randburg area.
Yeah, you're one of them.
I definitely need to join you.
Please.
And let's do some cool stuff.
I hope this won't get you in trouble with coach.
No, coaches understand. No, coaches understand. They know. Okay. I've got 3 coaches, Pelamine.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I've got 3 coaches, Pelamine. So, and these are all just individuals that really, really care about the sport.
Yeah.
And they care about what it's done for them, and they want it to do the same for us.
Yeah.
So Andy, social top runner, so no one can hold me to anything. So
yes.
Give us some quick fast facts.
Okay.
In terms of numbers, I'm really interested in terms of numbers, right?
Okay.
We're gonna start at 5K.
Okay. 5K. 17 minutes.
5K 17.
Yeah.
10.
37.
37.
Yeah.
You need to work harder. We need to get prize money, Absa. Come on, coach.
I'm talking about Absa. I'm going there and I'm gonna smash that 37.
Love it.
Watch the space.
Yes. Love a target.
Yeah.
Love a target. I love what you said earlier on. That,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just need to have a target for something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that helps you so much. That's priceless. Love that. 21.
21. 116.
116.
Yeah.
Big jump from 140. 116.
Yeah, 116.
Ooh. 42.
42 to 43.
243.
Yeah.
Coach, mina ngifuna just a sub 4 in Cape Town. I'm training for sub 4 in Cape Town, my first one.
You just made a promise now in front of everyone that you're gonna join me at Randburg areas.
Yeah.
So our trainings are Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
5 a.m.
Yeah.
You'll find me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. 100%.
Let's go.
So that was 42.
Yes.
Ultras, 50, 56.
Let's go to Two Oceans.
Yeah.
I got a 349 there.
Okay. Comrade. How many comrades?
Comrades, I'm on 5 now. This year was my 5th.
5th one.
Yeah.
All finishes.
All finishes.
Whew. Okay. Yeah. Best one?
Best one, 716.
All right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the target that the coach has is no target, is to be the best podium top spot. And I think really the way that he's put it and the way that he's articulated it, how his journey has been, why he runs, it's part of his purpose. It's inspiring. It's inspiring more than anything else. I've just made a commitment now to be a Terriers, which I definitely will do. I definitely will do. I think that's super awesome. But I think more than anything else, I hope you guys got a couple of things from this interview. I definitely did. I hope you did too, Coach.
I learned a lot from you. Looking forward to work with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be great. And also, I think when you watch it back, a lot of people have also come back to me and says, when I watch it back, I just realize how I haven't told myself my story. So I hope you'll also get a couple of things that you'll pick up from yourself that will inspire you again, that will keep you going. This is not an easy journey. It's a very, very tough journey, but it's a fun journey.
Very fun. I mean, we die on the road, but we go back again, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with us. I look forward to many more conversations on the road. When we are running easy pace, conversational pace.
Because they call it zone 2, right?
There we go. When we're zone 2 running. But ladies and gentlemen, social runners, top runners, elites, that was us on iDyan on the Run with Dr. Vilakazi. You know the story. Any questions, comments, anything that you'd like to say, please make sure that you do that on the comment section. I'll make sure to get him on as well if I can find time in his diary, which will probably have to be 5 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Mate, we'll see you
Yes.
and then we'll take it from there. But other than that, guys, let's continue running. Let's continue walking. Let's continue moving up until the next episode of iDyan on the Run. We are out. Cheers. Yeah.